So here we are, game number 2 of a best of 3. Habitation Station is going to be the host of this second game, and spawning up in the top left hand position, representing max flow, it is souL. And to the top right, his opponent, currently 1-0 up, 1 win away from advancing into the semi-finals. We have got Vega Squadron's DaNa. Do let me know, Twitch chat, if you're watching live, whether the video stuttering issues have been basically fixed thanks to the restart of the stream. If it hasn't, do let me know and I'll try and fix it properly after this series. Anyway, Habitation Station, let's talk a little bit about this map. Well, for a start, souL hasn't lifted up the moment he loaded in and floated over to the gold base, which is something that is quite common from a lot of Terran players. They do sometimes try and do it. It works quite nice, but it's not really a long-term strategy in my opinion. It tends to be a more all-in-ish build where you go for a lot of production, more than you'd usually be able to get early on. But not something we need to think about here because it's not happening. Instead, it's more likely to be a Reaper opening from souL, as we've got the barracks coming down and also the refinery coming down over it. Meanwhile, over in the top right, DaNa going hatch first. Actually no, going pool into hatch, so maybe expecting some kind of aggression through here. And yeah, this is quite interesting because generally speaking, a hatch first is the way you go up against Terran. So DaNa perhaps feeling a bit more concerned, maybe expecting something like proxy 11-11-2 racks, which is certainly a viable build on Habitation Station. And there are so many places you can hide it. You can hide it here, you can hide it down here, up here, here. Pretty much anywhere around this arc is a viable place to put it. I've even seen people go for it down here. It's so hard to spot that going for that pool first is just an added layer of security for DaNa. When you map up, going for that extra safety isn't necessarily a bad thing. Reaper now on its way out. This is the first one to hit the map. It's just going to be looking to poke and prod at a couple of drones, tickle them with their little guns, but hey, if you get a drone kill, you're going to be happy. But the most important thing about this Reaper generally is that it stays alive, as with the next, so that the follow-on aggression in the form of, say, some Reapers and Hellions does have that tank buffer against the Queens. Nice damage coming through at the moment. Onto that Reaper. The Queen doing a good job there for DaNa. Very nicely controlled, and will force it away. Just waiting for the combat drugs to kick in and for it to start healing back up. The hatch taking literally tickle damage. Reapers are no longer scary up against buildings. Peppa Pig remembers the time that Reapers were very scary up against buildings. Who remembers the proxy Reaper plays where suddenly you'd be just chilling in your early game and then your natural base would just die because there's like 5 or 6 Reapers there throwing charges at it. All bad times. Nice little save there on one of those drones, but a Reaper goes down. That isn't good. A Reaper for a drone is not a trade that you ever want to take. Unless it's like a giant drone that can instantly become a hatchery or something. But since they don't exist, not something that you really want to be doing. Nice control by DaNa. Able to fend off that pressure early on. Also this Overlord. This Overlord is a hero. Or maybe a heroine. I don't know. Either way, sees everything. Specifically, the super greedy 3rd CC. It's just going to back away now. Not in any danger of dying either, because it's actually a spare Reaper coming out to replace the one that died. And it's going to just be some Hellion Reaper play to try and put on the harassment to make sure that DaNa can't actually get aggressive. But no, the Roach Warren and also the Lair. This could very well be that same build from DaNa, going very aggressive to try and punish the greedy 3rd. May actually be the only viable option, because this 3rd CC is nearly done before a 3rd hatch has even begun for DaNa. That's a long way to try and come back from. Meanwhile though, the Queens, they're just poking, they're prodding, doing a little bit of damage, trying to squishing up this army, tenderize it for the Roaches to go and chew on later. The Roaches though, only now just starting production. The double wall off or the triple wall off with the queens actually, just trying to keep this safe. Is that actually a gap through there? It could very well be. Sometimes you get funky graphic positionings where it's not actually a wall, but I think that is a gap. I wouldn't know for sure unless the head-in tried to make it through, but either way, that'd be a very bold move to make. The queens now are just waiting, patiently preparing for any kind of damage to be coming in. But got a good few Hellbats morphed through now. The roaches should be enough to stop them from doing much else. DaNa committing a lot more of these roaches and is also getting down the carapace upgrade, not the attack. Quite an interesting choice. It actually will benefit the lings and the roaches if we see any of those. But also, up against, say, marines, the armor upgrade is always going to be very strong. Bunker coming down for souL. Clearly a bit concerned, since he doesn't see the third hatch. But what he doesn't know is the third hatch is just being taken with the gold base, so a slight oversight not checking that to make sure that it is actually all safe and sound. This is forcing a lot of additional bunkers to come through though, as well as the double engineering base to get started up, so this is going to be a biocomposition now from souL. Having 2 engineering bases doesn't let you build twice as many missile turrets, so definitely going to be the double infantry upgrades coming through from our Terran player. Meanwhile, DaNa has committed a lot into roaches. 18 roaches down and not actually moving out with them is quite an interesting choice, especially since this third base is so heavily delayed and DaNa knows that his opponent was also very fast in getting down the third CC. It may not have floated down to the gold or the other third base yet, but just the sheer fact it was there, producing SCVs and producing mules, you don't really want to allow that to happen. So the roaches preparing to get a little bit frisky, going to be looking to move up into this natural base where there are 3 bunkers guarding, but the +1 carapace is now done. +1 missile attack coming through as well, and road speed is finished. This is quite a scary force. There's only 1 Marauder to try and defend this. The supply depot goes down very quickly. This opens up the natural now for DaNa's roaches to get in. A lot of them bashing up against that bunker. And while the repair is good, there's so much burst from this. The Marines' damage is significantly hindered thanks to the +1 carapace. And while the scan is coming through, not really achieving that much. That scan, not sure what it was hoping for, but doesn't serve any purpose there. So he's lost an awful lot already. 23 workers killed. GG is called, and DaNa advances into the next round 2-0 over souL.